And we're also going to meet the former Valley woman who had every right to give up after being severely burned in a plane crash in Arizona.
I was in a coma for 4 months, and I thought I would never have that happy life I once had. I never thought I'd be happy again. Life was pretty awful. I was burned more than 80% of my body, including my face. My children were afraid of me. I looked gruesome. I was in excruciating pain all of the time, and I couldn't sit up in bed, let alone do anything else. And then one night, I lay in the hospital, and a calm feeling overcame me. It would be hard, it would be painful. I may never be beautiful again, but I would live.
Boy, it's just difficult to even hear. We're going to talk to this mom of 5 who decided and did beat the odds. You know, when tragedy strikes, some people can rise above it, some struggle, some maybe look for inspiration. Well, look no further than our next guest for that inspiration, because Stephanie Nielson and her husband, Christian, survived a plane crash near St. John's, Arizona, but just barely. She was burned over 80% of her body and was in a coma for 3 months, in the hospital for something like 4.5 months. But she says at one point she knew that she would write a book about the experience to help others understand what life is really all about, including her kids.
I wrote it to remind Jane that life changes, but it doesn't always mean that it's bad. I wrote it to remind Ollie that his mother never gave up, even when she wanted to, because he was more important to me than anything. I wrote it so Nicholas would know that God has a plan for each of us, and he knows who we are as individuals and loves us. I wrote it so Claire would remember we may look different, but we can still love and be loved, and that family relationships are more important than things in life, and we need to cherish them.
Well, we are so pleased to have Stephanie joining us live this morning. She's in Los Angeles, where she's kicking off her book tour. Stephanie, good morning to you. I have to say, as a pilot, I was especially touched at reading about what happened to you and what you went through. And I know you've lived this for years now, but was it difficult to put it in words and relive it all over again for you?
Yeah, it was one of the hardest parts of writing this book, was reliving all of those terrible feelings that I had, but also it was very therapeutic. I think I was able to get a lot of feelings out that that needed to come out, and also I just relived those memories, but cherished my life that much more again. Just really thinking, man, I went through this and I lived, and look at how well I'm doing now. So it was good.
Well, your attitude is just amazing. I don't know that I could ever do something like that, and I'll get more on that in a second. But I know you say in the book you felt like you were going to die probably throughout the entire ordeal. Did you ever at any point, with all the pain that you had to go through, wish that you had died?
Several times. Several times I thought, this isn't worth it. What, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. This is horrible. This hurts all the time. But then I was reminded when I was reconnected with my children, just how important it was to keep fighting and just to keep going. My relationship with my husband was very inspiring to keep going, but there were days that I just wanted to slip away. It was too hard.
My goodness. Well, you know, in the audio portion of it, you said that your children were afraid of you when they saw you. How do you overcome that? I just can't even imagine.
It took a lot of time. I think time is certainly heals. Family relationships were so important at that time. They just kept pushing me. I had some of the greatest doctors and nurses there in the Maricopa Medical Center, the burn center there, that were so helpful to me and really supportive to just tell me that this just how it felt right now, but it's going to get better, and just to keep fighting through it.
Well, obviously you had a lot of people on your side in helping you, and it sounds like your family too. And you talk about what a privilege it is to be alive every single day now. Was there any like one point where you thought to yourself, I've got to be strong and I've got to get through this?
Yeah, when I moved back home and I realized my children need me. They really need me to continue a happy life, and my husband really relies on me, and I thought, you know, this is so much bigger than just me. I have to go through this, but it's affecting so many other people. And so I thought, this is my trial. This is what I have dealt to me, and I just need to keep pushing through it and fighting, and that's why I feel like I am doing so well. And certainly there are days that are hard, and
Right.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
But I feel like for the most part, I'm just a very blessed person that has all the tools I need to continue and make this a good thing.
Well, you are, because you have a beautiful family. We showed video of you on Oprah, and I would think a lot of people would have contacted you in similar situations looking for inspiration.
Yeah, I have been in touch with a lot of wonderful, amazing people who have had similar trials, injuries, and we all deal with things differently, and I've learned things from them, and hopefully people who are struggling can learn something from me. And just never give up hope that there's always a brighter day coming.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Stephanie, thank you. You're a beautiful woman for very many for lots of reasons. The book is Heaven is Here. Thank you, and the best of luck to you. The book is Heaven is Here, and it is a must read for sure.